You gotta hold it. There you go. Okay. So, we're gonna learn about this thing that we've gone through all our life, love and hate. It's a love and hate relationship, they say often. So I'll put it up here so that we can learn these words that are here, specifically used as desire and hate. Okay. Alrighty. Is the Apple TV on? Just check it. Should be. This is what happens when you let monks deal with it, Apple TV and... Okay. Alright. So, this is chapter 27, entitled Knowledge. So, we'll start. So, everybody can repeat after me. Everyone can learn a little bit of... This is the oldest language in the world called Sanskrit. So everyone can follow along. It's really easy. It's a little bit of a tongue twister sometimes. I still get confused, so don't worry. Okay, so that first word, starting with the first word. Ichha, dvesha, samuthena, dvandva, mohena, bharata, sarva, bhutani, sammoham, sarje, yanti, parantapa. Okay, so now I'm going to do it in a meter. Okay, it's a little bit like a rap, but it's like better than that. Okay, so Ichha dvesha samuthena dande mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarjayanti parantapa. Ichhadvesha samuthena dandvamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarjayanti parantapa. Ichhadvesha samuthena dandvamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarjayanti parantapa. Okay, go ahead. Ichhadvesha samuthena sarvabhutani sammoham sarjayanti parantapa.
Ichhadvesha samuttena
Ichhadvesha samuthena
dandamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sargayanti parantapa.
Okay. Anybody else want to try? Okay. Any other women would like to have a go? Ichhadvesha samuthena dandamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham. Anyone else? Ichhadvesha samuthena dandamohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham. Okay, all right, so we're going to learn what each one means. Ichha, desire. Dvesha, and hate. Samuthena, arisen from. Dvandva, of duality. Mohena, by the illusion. Bharata, or sign of Bharata. Sarva, all. Bhutani, living entities. Sammoham, into. Delusion. Sarje, while taking birth. Oh, sorry. I should have. Yanti, go. Parantapa, O conqueror of enemies. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. Okay, everyone listening because he's about to drop some knowledge here, Krishna. Okay. So, O sign of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. Purport. The real constitutional position of the living entity is that of subordination to the Supreme Lord, who is pure knowledge. When one is deluded into separation from this pure knowledge, he becomes controlled by illusory energy and cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The illusory energy is manifested in the duality of desire and hate. Due to desire and hate, the ignorant person wants to become one with the Supreme Lord and envies Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pure devotees who are not deluded or contaminated by desire and hate can understand that Lord Sri Krishna appears by his internal potencies, but those who are deluded by duality and nescience think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is created by material energies. This is their misfortune. Such deluded persons symptomatically dwell in dualities of dishonor and honor, miseries and happiness, woman and man, good and bad, pleasure and pain, etc., thinking, this is my wife, this is my house, I am the master of this house, I am the husband of this wife. These are the dualities of delusion. Those who are so deluded by dualities are completely foolish and therefore cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So before I begin, I'm just going to chant a few prayers in the same language there, praying to our teachers and to God for the ability to speak in such a way that you are able to understand what is going on. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shrivatapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadvitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchina Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Suri Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripe Vanchakalpatarvescha Kripa Sindhubhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalashpatakakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinir Smarana Hoy Vigna Vinashan Anayasya Hai Nija Panchita Purana. So, we are all here today. What are we all here for? What are we all here for? Get purified, Krishna? To learn? Knowledge. I like that. For knowledge, right? Very important. Specifically this title, knowledge of absolute. We don't want just knowledge. We want absolute knowledge. We don't want somebody to cheat us or teach us the wrong thing and then have to relearn it. We want something that is going to last us forever. We want something that is concrete. Nobody wants to know the wrong thing. Everybody wants to know the right thing. We're looking for the right thing, but in different places. So it's a good question, right? What are we here for? What are we here for? We're all here to learn, but most people don't even ask that question. I'm asking you because you're all here in this room. But what are we here for in this world? What are we here for? Anyone? To experience? Anybody else? To who? To serve, sure. Yeah. Anyone? Happiness? Yeah, twice now, happiness. Anything else? Enjoyment? Yeah, happiness, enjoyment, right? Enlightenment? Yeah, sure, maybe you're here for that, but most people... If you go out into the street over there, go down the road, if you take a left here, you go down the road for about 2 minutes, you're going to end up at a gas station. And we know a guy there. He's in one of our videos. But, Truth, yeah, truth, like we said, knowledge. We're here for knowledge in this world. Realization. We want more experience and become realized. So, essence of it being, we're here and we all want one thing, happiness. That's the essence of what you ultimately want to come to, whether you get knowledge, whether you want experience. Does anybody want to have a bad experience? Right, you walked in this building today. Today, I'm going to have a bad experience. That's what I'm here for. Today, I'm here for a bad experience. No, we want a good experience. Okay, today I'm here to serve. Okay, let's go serve Hitler in Germany. Right? Want to serve, but who to serve, we don't know. Okay, let's go. Who do you want to serve? Russia? Ukraine? Palestine? Which one? Which one gives you happiness? Happiness. So then what is happiness? My happiness? Is that everything? Right? Who wants to be happy? I hope everybody does. Right? We all want that. We want to be happy. But we don't often consider my happiness. But does your happiness mean someone else's happiness? No, right? So isn't that selfish? Isn't us trying to be happy selfish? Because let's say, okay, you were born in Russia. What is happiness to you? Okay, that Russia wins the war. Then you're happy. But what happens to the Ukrainians? They're killed. So are we all of a sudden happy that somebody else is being killed? This is the duality of this world. So Krishna is starting to speak about this. Delusion, material desire, envy, hate, they all go together. Material life is based on the desire to enjoy. We all want to enjoy. And there's nothing, that is pretty much our inherent nature. If you look at every living entity's nature, it is ultimately to enjoy. We are naturally pleasure-seeking beings. We want pleasure in everything. We don't want pain, right? But unfortunately, the nature of this material world is what gives pain to one person gives pain, or what gives happiness to one person is pain to another. Or as a result of your happiness, it gives pain to someone else. That's just a natural thing. Material desire, envy, hate, they all go together. We all have material desire. We want to be big. We want to show ourselves to be big, right? Who doesn't want to be big? Who when they were young, didn't want to be the greatest basketball player ever? Who didn't want to be better than Kobe Bryant or Kobe Bryant when you're playing little ball on the street? Right? Anybody? All the men, I guess. I don't think the women wanted to be Kobe Bryant, right? Maybe. I don't know the women's leagues. Lisa, oh, she knows, okay. I didn't know that was like a big thing here. So the desire is to be better, right? Always be better than others, isn't it? Right? And often, you'll often see people's lives are based on being better than others. Our happiness is based on the pain of others. That is the nature of this world. What do we say sometimes? At least I got food to eat, right? At least I got food stamps. I don't know, I've heard that at Walmart. So, at least I got that. At least I got, food on the table. At least I got roof over my head. And often our happiness is dependent on, look, that person is suffering more than me. It's too loud? Oh, I'm talking fast. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Huh? I don't know Hindi, no. I talk very fast sometimes. I'm sorry. Is it too fast for everyone? Slow it down. I'll slow it down a little bit. I'll try to. It's exciting. I'm sorry. So we want to show ourselves to be better than others. So then we get a fancier car, right? What does a car do? What does a car do? Gets you from one place to the next, right? And you're all in traffic, and the Ferrari is next to you, and the Lamborghini is next to you, and you're all at the red light. It doesn't matter. But then why Why get such an expensive car? Why? Why get such an expensive car? Why? To show yourself to be better than others. But does it really make a difference? It's an ego thing. It's envy of others. Oh, look, I want to be better than him. Envy. And then you see that, we see somebody else sees the Lamborghini. Oh man, one day I'm going to be better than his. I want a bigger car than him. I want a better job than his. I want a better girl than his. More beautiful. So the nature of this world, the nature of material desire, is that it forces, or more or less by nature, it pushes us to be envious or hate others. Because like I'm saying, what is happiness to one person generally may cause distress to another. But does it have much value? A fancy car, you buy it and it immediately loses its value. Immediately. You buy a fancy car in market value and also to yourself, right? You buy, okay, whoever, we may not have, all of us, I looked in the parking lot, and not that, it's like normal cars, it's nothing crazy fancy, I didn't offend anyone. So, people are attached to their cars, so, but you buy something very expensive, just like most common thing that may be very expensive to our lives, maybe a very, very, the latest iPhone, which is a 16 Pro Max now, they just released it, I think. So you can buy that, you can spend, what is it, $1,400, $1,500 on that? And you can flex with this, like, look, I got a new iPhone. But then, as soon as you buy that iPhone, because it's based on the desire to show how big of a person I am, or how, how much I'm better than someone else, although it may not be exactly intended like that, but its nature is more or less falls within that. But it loses its value immediately. Immediately, you can't sell it back for the price you bought it. And for yourself also, you spend 3 days with it, and then you're throwing it all over the place. You don't really care. Okay, let me get off this here. So, it's just for the sake of prestige, desire, prestige, envy. They're all mixed up in this world. And the basic principle of this, of material existence, is envy. The desire to try to take someone's position, to become like someone, or become more than someone. So it is the basic principle of this world. And so material desire, the greatest desire is to be happy, of course. And amongst those things, sex happens to be the, top of the desire chain, right? Because that's the most pleasurable thing within this world, sex. It gives us the greatest sensation within this world. That's what people run for. That's what actually people, that's what whole society is based around. Everything is built around sex in this society. Look, the cars are sold on sex. The building the big buildings are based on sex desire. Everybody's working hard to get sex. The birds and the beasts, they're all doing the same thing. The men, the women, they're all doing the same thing. And we think that this sex is love. But it actually, because it's based on material enjoyment, it is actually exploitation. That I enjoy myself and you enjoy yourself. And on that basis, we will make so-called love, but this love is actually envy. So-called love in this material world is an expression of envy, the desire to enjoy more than someone else. Enjoy more than others. So it's a mutual exploitation. Nobody likes people that exploit. But actually, we ourselves, in our pursuit of material desire, there is naturally exploiter and the exploited. And there's different degrees to that, of course. We see that in this world, that some people are good and some people are bad. Bad people exploit and good people do good. And this is the problem. This is a philosophical problem. Are we inherently good or are we inherently bad? Which one? Inherently good, okay. Both, I like that, okay, both. I like that, both. Spiritual, if we look at to a spiritual perspective, we're all good. But because we're covered by this material energy, actually the spirit soul is never contaminated. It is never contaminated, it is pure. But because we are covered by material energy, covered by the desire for material enjoyment, we are bewildered, we are blinded, as Krishna says here, born into delusion. Because we are blinded, actually it's bad. It's almost like our inherent nature is bad. Why? Because of the struggle, because of the envy or the struggle for material enjoyment. And so this is often the problem that comes up in philosophy, is the struggle of conscience. Everybody know conscience, what this is? That when we're doing something, we know it's bad. But it's like we're dragged to do it. We know that if somebody hurts someone, it's bad, it's not good. But it's almost like we're dragged. It's like that person, how can somebody just kill someone? Well, internally they know this is not good and it's hurtful. But they're almost like they're dragged. So, bad people and good people, and then there's the different gradation. You may say, well, certain societies are bad because they do some activities that are not very good, like just killing people. You see, just like we have the extremists. They just go around killing people just because they don't believe in what I believe in. So we can say, okay, those people are bad. Or we see within the different areas within America, we have areas which are worse than others. We see that, we identify that, we can tell. Consciously we can tell, oh, okay, this area is very bad because there's a lot of, killings and people are just nasty. This is not very helpful. They're not very nice. They'll scream at you. And all of these things. So this envious atmosphere, this envious conditioning, we grow up around this. Those people, bad people and good people, we could say, we see that they're conditioned by that. You grow up in a particular environment, more than likely, you grow up in an environment that has a lot of gangs and stealing and all of this, you're going to become one of those. It's not surprising. And you grow up in an environment where people are saintly and of high character, you'll also be expected to be of high character. Of course, we have cases in which people grow up in very good families and very nice environments, but end up being very crazy or hurting a lot of people. But overall, it's expected that conditioning of that environment creates good or bad. But although that good and bad is there, the basic template of material desire, whether on the surface level it is good and bad, it is actually all not good. Because it's based on material desire. Again, we're coming back to that beginning point, material desire. It doesn't matter whether somebody is, there's definitely gradations to it, but the fact that there is good people and bad people, but on the ultimate level, how can he actually judge who's good and who's bad? Just like I was saying, Ukraine versus Russia. To the Ukrainians, the Russians are very bad, and to the Russians, the Ukrainians are very bad. So, or you could say, if the Bloods and the Crips, we can't even say the B and the C, right? If you're in the Bloods, you can't even use the letter C. You hate the letter C. If you're in the Crips, you hate the letter B. You don't use the letter B even in your sentences. We heard that once. We went to a police station, and one of the people we met didn't use the letter B, and he was like forming sentences without the letter B. I was like, dude, what is this dude saying? I was like, what's he talking about? And one of the guys who grew up in Atlanta, he said, yeah, he's probably a Bloods or a Crips. I can't remember. He wasn't raising B, so he was not a Crips. So he's from the Crips, so they hate the letter B. Anyways, so there is this distinction because of this, what is described here as dvanda, of duality, seeing separate from who? Seeing separate from God, seeing separate from God's extension, seeing everything with the center of I. So it's a place of duality. It's a place of difference. Everybody has difference. Everybody's seeing differently. And you could say, good people are hard to find nowadays, right? No, they're not hard to find, really. It's easier to hate others than to love others. It's easier. Oh, you did this to me. Right? How many times? It's so much, you've had a friendship for so long with someone, one thing happens, that's it. You don't deal with that person for the rest of your life. It's easier for a relationship that's going through a little hard time, it's easier to break the relationship than to keep it. Right? It's easier to break. It's easier to neglect. If you have some responsibility, then we can just forget it. It's easy to just forget it, move on. We have some children. We have some people that are dependent on us. Better to just leave them. We see that so much nowadays. If you don't like the other person, a few things you can do. You can hurt them. You can even kill the other person. We see that more nowadays. Modern society. More and more selfishness. My desire. I am all that matters. What about me? This is the generation of me society. So, Ichcha and Dvesha, that we have desire and hate, and we are stuck in duality, seeing things differently, seeing everyone as separate from everything. There's me, and there's everyone else. Me. What can you do for me? That was what we run our lives on. What can you do for me? And that's all that matters. And if you can't do anything for me anymore, then divorce. Then leave the relationship. Then leave. Because it's based on this material enjoyment. One person, this suffering always takes place. Just like in spiritual life, the whole idea is sarve sukha bhavanti. Let the whole world be happy. But in material life, it is how will I become happy? So generally we see even leaders within society, they're expected to create a good situation in society. But more we see nowadays, so it's naturally seen that this person, they take a position not to serve others, but to exploit others. We're talking about service. And then we're thinking, well, we vote on the basis of what can they do for me? What can they do for me? What's the best deal for me? So this is the nature of this world. This is the nature of this world. It is just all based on me. It's all selfishness, godlessness. It goes well together. It goes together. There's selflessness and godlessness. You see naturally if you look, you can talk to teachers if you want. People think, well, it's not getting worse. You see, in the past, kids were better. Behaved better, families were better, less divorces, less exploitation, less of a consumer society, less of this idea of I want more, me, mine. People thought, well, what about the neighbor? What about neighbors? Maybe I should help them, maybe I should do this. People had that. Why? Because there was more of idea of duty, understanding God, that I am not the center of everything, that God is providing everything, so why do I need to try to separately enjoy? God is giving it all, so He's giving it to all, so these are all my neighbors, these are all my friends and family. We're all God's children. But you see that in this society, each generation goes by. Each generation goes by. The mode of ignorance, the forgetfulness of God becomes more prominent, becoming more prominent, and therefore we see more problems, more delusion. We're in more delusion, more hate. This community hates that community. This group, so many different groups are created. This group hates that group. If you're a part of this group, then naturally you don't have to like that group. So, real love means to be free from selfishness, to be free from false egoism, to be free from identification with this material body. That is real love. Real love means to go beyond the conception of, okay, my enjoyment, me, who am I? What is this? I'm this black, white, yellow, brown, American, Indian, all of these things. These all create separateness. It creates separated idea of who we are, because we are not this body. We are not black. We're not white. Not a man. Not a woman. We're beyond this platform of understanding. So it requires proper knowledge to go beyond this enviness in this world. It requires us to understand who we actually are. That's why here it is being mentioned. Yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that. It requires us to understand that. Otherwise, society's messed up. Society's messed up. So here, Krishna is starting to give the understanding of what our position is and how to actually act. Because we want to create a society, right? Who wants to live in a society of envy? Anybody? We've had that experience of getting messed over by so many people in our lives and such. And do we want to live in that type of society where it's just of envy, of hate of others? No, we want to be in a situation where there's love, where there's real family, where there's real loving relationships. So I was asking the question, what are we here for? We are here. Yes, we are here for happiness. Yes, we are here for service. But this must be done with knowledge. So the Krishna conscious society is giving that knowledge, proper knowledge. Knowledge not on the basis of, okay, you're a Christian, you're a Hindu, you're a Muslim, you're this or you're that. Not on this basis of duality, actually. That is also duality. I am Christian, I am Hindu, this and that. That is false identification again. But on the basis, well, I am spirit soul. I am spirit soul. I am a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am on the platform. I am actually spirit soul. What does that mean? That means to come to an understanding that one and every living entity is an eternal servant of God. Every living entity, not just the human beings. So we're talking about exploitation and how the desire to enjoy causes so much pain for others. And we may see that, okay, one party is robbing and killing and raping another party, and we're thinking, well, they're so terrible. And then we may be doing the same things in our lives. Just like we don't consider that, we take an animal, slit the throat, separate it from his kids, and eat that animal. What about that? We want to love everyone, but not the animals. Not those living entities. Those living entities, we can slit the throat. Just because, why? Because my tongue. Because for my enjoyment. There's no logic. Okay, they're suffering also. Why? Just for the taste of my tongue. Let me slit their throat. But we have to become free of that. We have to have a proper understanding that even those are living entities. They are spirit soul. We are spirit soul. They live, they breathe, they eat, they produce. Okay, they have a different body, but you can see, any person can see. You look into the eyes of an animal, there's some level of connection there. It's not beyond what we are. We can understand the pain that living entity goes through. So we're all connected. We're all connected with God in the center, coming from God. We are not God. That is another delusion. We are individual. But every living entity in this world, including the animals, including the trees and the plants, are in a different form of life right now, but are ultimately meant to love and serve God. And so when one comes to this platform of understanding who the self is, who the real self is, there is no more duality. He sees on the platform of reality. He sees everybody, every living entity, as spirit soul, as another individual that is of the same nature, not a different person, not a different race, not a different community. He sees, oh, we're all just like, when you're born in a family, you have your brothers and your sisters, and you take care of those brothers and sisters no matter what. Why? Because you're deeply related to them. Just like that, we're related. But that is temporary, like he's saying, Prabhupada's saying here, family, also temporary, comes with the body, goes with the body. But the relationship of the spirit soul with Krishna, with God, is eternal. And the jivas, us, the individual living entities, are also eternal. And our real constitutional position is in relationship with God, with Krishna. And on that platform, there is no envy. There is love. There is real love. We're enjoying with the idea of service to God. We're serving because we understand that is what gives enjoyment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when you water the root of the tree, the rest of the branches, the leaves, all of these things are naturally satisfied. When you perform service to God, the whole world becomes satisfied. So this is the philosophy. That we desire for everyone to become happy in this world. Not just those who are related to me in my particular body, in my particular skin, in my particular country, my particular religion. No, let the whole world be happy. Let everybody be happy. Why not? Sarve sukha bhavantu. And that is the vision of a great sage or a great saint or a person who is actually in knowledge. Not maximize my happiness or maximize my country's happiness, my community's happiness. This is all illusion. We want to maximize everyone's happiness because everybody is on the platform of spirit soul. We want to show people what is the real way of life. What is real love? Not this selfishness, enviness, this false idea of love. This is nescience, as Prabhupada says here. Are deluded by duality and nescience. So that is qualified by us trying to come to the platform of understanding who we are and who God is. How God is the supreme topmost being, and that our primary position is to love and serve Him, and that's it. That's it. That's real love. You want real love? Here's real love. We can have our own idea of love, but that idea may be false. The idea of love may cause so much pain to others. But this love causes great pleasure to others when it is understood properly. So there is no more envy, there is no more greed, there is no more lust, no more hate. None of these things. These things are taken away, just like within our hearts we have so much material desire to enjoy in this world. Greed, lust, anger, all bases of envy. But that goes away. Then we can see every living entity with love. That love is not some superficial idea of flowery world. Oh yeah, love. All love. But it's real love. Real love. Just like a mother loves a child, she gives the child what he needs, not what he wants almost. The child wants so many things. Child wants to eat McDonald's all day. But a real mother knows, I gotta cook for the child properly, feed it. So the child may think, oh, it doesn't love me. She doesn't love me. She's not giving me my iPad. She's not giving me my phone. But the mother knows. So similarly, on this platform of God consciousness, we may not see it as so palatable sometimes. Oh, we have to do so many things. Oh, we have to practice the principles of spiritual life. We have to be regulated. We have to take some level of austerity. We have to control our senses, control our minds, give up our materialistic ideas of life. This is called love, to give up false ideas and accept for the sake of giving pleasure to the Supreme Person, the root cause of everything. And when we give up our selfishness, and that is transferred to service to Krishna and to God, then that becomes real selflessness. That becomes real welfare work of this world, real help to everybody. We often say, don't save, there's a drowning person and you save the clothes, what is the use? Somebody is drowning, help me, but you have misidentified, oh, I should help the clothes. He's got nice Yeezys on and, whatever, Versace and all of that on. Let me save those things because that is what I care about, what I think is important. But you don't know what is important, then you don't save the person. Therefore, knowledge, right? Knowledge of the Absolute. Therefore, we should understand with a clear vision what is real life, what is to be done, what is not to be done. So the Krishna consciousness movement allows us to come to the platform of pure knowledge, not by just mere faith or by belief, but by proper understanding, by proper analysis of what is matter, what is spirit, who is the controller of both. This is knowledge. So by doing this, we can come to the platform of perfection. Perfection, no more duality, absoluteness, absolute, knowledge of absolute, no more duality. Everything, love, it is, yes. On the platform of spiritual life, it is love. But right now in our mature condition, we cannot understand what that is. So by this process, there is a process of becoming free. It is not a wishy-washy idea, just do what I like, spiritualism. There's a process to become free from this material desire. And that primary process, Cheto Darpana Marjana, to clear the heart out of all of this nonsense in our heart. First, hopefully we can recognize there's so much coverings and ideas and things that we don't understand, and or we can think like that also. I know everything already. I am the proprietor of everything. I am perfect. Then that's another illusion, delusion. But if we can start to accept, well, I don't know everything, then, and we can start to take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the process of purification. Mataji was saying, we're here for purification. Yes, we're here for purification. I'm not sitting up here and lecturing everyone on becoming perfect, but because I'm not perfect, I'm just the same as you are, or could be even worse. So I have so much material desire in my heart. I'm a fool also. But at least I can recognize I'm a fool. I can say that much I know. So maybe if I recognize that I'm a fool, then I can start to understand something. First, must recognize. But we can honestly say that this process of chanting this mantra has cleared up a lot of things, has brought about a lot of realization. Those devotees here, we are lucky to have one devotee as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, the disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who has been practicing Krishna consciousness for 50 years, process of chanting, hearing, reading, following principles of spiritual life and purification. Some of us have been doing it for a couple of years, some of us have been doing it for a decade. But we can see, you start to see, and when you step out of material atmosphere, you realize how much envy and greed and lust and just all of this people run on. People have no idea what real love actually is. No idea. They think it's just this sex. But it's far from that. That some of us realize that this sex we thought was love, and it's actually just, it's disgusting. It's just based on exploiting someone else. But when you come to Krishna consciousness, you start to experience what that real love is. It is beyond anything that we've ever experienced in the material world. What is it? What is it? How can I tell you what that love is? Well, it's love for Krishna. This love for Krishna, that is what is beyond. But how can you experience it? Well, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. But you have to experience it. I can only explain so much. I can only tell you how good the prasadam downstairs, the food that's downstairs, how good it tastes. I can tell you it's sweet. I can tell you it's got a little, it's this type of flavor, this texture. But until you experience it, I can't experience it. Just like, when your friend has something really awesome, like, some really awesome food, you might went and got a really good pizza or really good ice cream, and you eat it and you're like, whoa, this is really good, bro, you got to try this. And when your friend eats it and he likes it so much too, the whole thing becomes so nice. The relationship is so much nicer. Based on the relationship of that ice cream, you could say. Your relationship becomes deeper. Ever had that? Sometimes you stay up with your homies or homegirls, you could say. And you just bond over just food. You have a common thing to bond over. And it creates a loving relationship. But then the food ends, and then one gets tired of that food and the other, and then the relationship may not go on with that basis of that food. But Krishna consciousness, Krishna is the central principle of our life for eternality, not just for now. So because this love is based with the central being Krishna, the love for Krishna, it is eternal. When your friendships, your relationships, your family, your identification is based around Krishna, the eternal, Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the love between even the people that are associating is eternal. Doesn't change, because our situation in relationship with God is never going to change. So our relationships with each other on the basis of Krishna consciousness, on the basis of God consciousness, will never change. Your friendships are eternal. So this is the platform. This is real love. We want to, give people this real love with real understanding. And you come to a level of where the pleasure or the desire is not for your own self, but for the desire to please God. And that means going and helping everyone also come closer to Krishna. So chanting this mantra, following the principle, having good association, you can come here anytime. We call this is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. It is the house for the whole world to come. You come here. It's a family. We're all family. We see like that. That is the vision. So come and associate with an atmosphere of real love. Why? Why this atmosphere? Why do we have to live in this atmosphere of hate? Live in an atmosphere of love. Experience what that's like. Be constantly in that, absorbed in that, and you'll see how your life changes. It's not a belief thing. Science is, whether you believe it or not, it takes effect. Gravity takes effect. Similarly, the process of Krishna consciousness, it takes effect. You don't have to believe in it. I'm not asking you to believe. I ask you to do it. Implement in your life and see the change for yourself. And if you don't see it, we'll give you a cheesecake next week. And then hopefully that cheesecake will make a difference. So chanting of this mantra, that is the basis of coming to this basis. It is the all in all of seeing God, seeing love, seeing real life. So please take it up. It's very ecstatic. It's very exciting. Life is very colorful, you could say. You can sometimes think about it. Life is in black and white when we're living in a material world. But life is colorful in Krishna consciousness. And the more you practice, it's like, whoa, okay, life is amazing, wonderful in all situations. The situation may seem terrible, may seem amazing, but in all situations you can relish. You can relish this platform of absolute existence. So try to take this seriously. We've got this human form of life. We're not stuck in this plant form for some time. So you have an opportunity to really make use of it, really go deep into Krishna consciousness, really inquire, study, It's all there. So it doesn't cost anything to do all of this. You can go pay life coaching and all of this. Nothing you'll ever be satisfied with. But this, we're providing. We're giving. Why? Because God is providing. Why are we not charging you so much money? Because we don't need to. Because it's free. Knowledge is free. Well, the printing costs us money. So you can give a donation if you want to buy some books. But here, we're providing everything. Come. And you can help. You can serve. There's so much opportunity for service. And purify oneself with this service. Change one's whole perspective of life. Why? Because it'll lead to happiness. That's what we all want, right? So here is not fake happiness, not false promise, but a real one. So, if there's any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Yes, there's one question here, yes. Yeah, we're in the process of Krishna consciousness, and yeah, we have so many material desires, and we're not perfect, and so there's a lot of work to do. But as long as one keeps moving in that direction, Krishna says on the path of devotion, service to Krishna, there's no loss or diminution, because it's not based on this body. See, like you can work hard all your life to become some great person in this world, but then everybody will forget you after you die. And all the work that you did, we're taken away by time. Right? Nobody remembers. Who knows who the Beatles are? You do 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? But at one time, they were more famous than Jesus. They said like that. But where are they now? Nobody knows. You ask an 18-year-old at college, Beatles, who's that? George Harrison, who's that? All of your work in this material world is taken away by time. But because the spirit soul is eternal, it is not dependent, or it's active. When you're performing on the platform of the spiritual existence, it is not taken away by time. So although this body, when we perform work with this body in this world, materialistic work, it is taken away by time. The work that we do in spiritual life, in devotional service, that is on the spiritual level. So in your next life, that continues. You continue where you left off, just like when you woke up this morning, I hope you had the same amount of money in your bank account as you did yesterday. Right? You worked hard yesterday, you expected that, and you didn't do anything stupid. It's going to stay there when you wake up out of your dream. You're working in reality. In your dream, you may make $1 million. But that doesn't matter. It matters what's in reality. So similarly, when we're working on this platform of devotional service, there is no loss or diminution. You'll never lose. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. But on the material platform, nothing to gain, everything to lose. You may gain so much, but it's all lost anyways. It's already lost, actually. Because we're as sure as death, right? That's anything that we're sure of, we know we're sure as death. It's already been taken away. It's destined to be taken away. You can't hold on to it. So you're going to be forced to let it go. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Just like somebody comes and steals $10 from you. You feel so much pain. Time comes and steals everything from you. You ain't got no choice at that point. How much pain? People say, well, I'm not scared of that. Oh, really? Okay, if I go and steal something from you, how much pain do you experience? How much pain can you imagine to experience at the time of death? To have taken everything away from you. Because you've identified with that. But if you don't identify with it, just like somebody crashes a car on the road, it's a Lamborghini. You go buy it, you're like, oh, damn, that's pretty bad. But you forget about it, right? You didn't go home tonight and cry about the Lamborghini being crashed. Why? Because you don't identify it. It's not yours. It doesn't matter. So on the platform of Krishna consciousness, we start to understand what really matters and what doesn't matter. So at the time of death, it's not, this is a material body, this is not who I am. I'm not attached to it. No pain associated with this material world. Free. Free from this attachment. Krishna consciousness gives us that. But yeah, on the platform of Krishna consciousness, yes, we are struggling with material desire because we're so involved with it. But we have to go on with the process because it's a process of intellect, not of feeling. You may feel like this, feel like that, but you understand what is reality. And you keep moving forward, although it may be difficult. Spiritual life is enlivening, but there's difficulties to it. Yeah? Because we're fighting with material desire. We're fighting against the stream of material desire in this world. Everybody's pushing us to go have so much sex and go and do drugs and eat and drink and eat meat and gamble and do all of these things in this world. It takes a level of courage and a level of determination to go, you know what, no. Everybody's doing it, but nobody's happy. You know what, this doesn't make any sense. Let me go the other way. It is difficult. But at least you're moving towards the right thing. In the desert, you're not moving towards the mirage, which is, you may end up in a no man's land. But you have a map. It's difficult to head in the direction where there's real water. It may be further than the illusion that seems so close. But we're moving towards reality. And so there may be a little struggle, but we should understand there's no loss, ever. Ever, no loss. But we can see our lives, although we have struggle with material desire, in Krishna consciousness, we're not sitting here like Buddhists, sitting here and quiet and not allowed to speak and do all of these things. We're singing, dancing, chanting, associating. It's a good time. It's a better time. Everybody wants to sing and dance and every day. Well, welcome to the Krishna consciousness movement. You want to do that every day? Well, we do it every day. We have a good time doing it. So this is what it's about. If we want to enjoy life, well, this is how to do it. This is how to do it. Sustainable. So anything else? Oh, yeah, we have one question here.
I just wanted to know, how do you know when you're moving in the correct direction?
Yeah, how do you know when you're moving in the correct direction? Knowledge and detachment. Knowledge and detachment. You'll see yourself naturally become detached from this material world and attached to performing Krishna consciousness. Performing, being God conscious, being Krishna conscious. You'll see that you no longer want to associate with materialists. You want to be in spiritual association. You no longer want to listen to this mundane music of this world. You want to just listen to chanting, you want to chant Hare Krishna, and that's it, that's what's satisfying. Mundane music becomes dissatisfying. You just want to perform activities that is Krishna conscious. That's how you know. And you become renounced from this world naturally. That's a symptom of good progress. And you'll see yourself becoming happier. It's not a rocket science. The proof of the tasting is in the eating, is that right? Is that how you say it? Proof of the pudding is in the tasting. So when you eat, how do you know something tastes good? It tastes good. There's not much logic sometimes you have to apply to it. How do you know food is good? Because it nourishes your body. It keeps you going. It's satisfying. Like that. Okay. It's very easy. Simple. Simple for the simple, this process. Yeah. Okay, you had a question.
What is the definition of a devotee?
What is the definition of devotee? Here, right here, is that of subordination to the Supreme Lord. That he understands himself, his primary identification is not as a father, mother, this or that, but his primary identification is that of the servant of God, of Krishna. That is a devotee. Yeah? He has no other desire. Nothing. No desire to enjoy in this world, nothing. His only desire is to please God. That is the that is the definition of a devotee.
Okay, this question then has two parts, because I know it's very you encourage us to chant the mantra.
Yeah.
And then I was reading here in on chanting Hare Krishna, it says the chanting should be heard from a pure devotee of the Lord so that immediate effect can be achieved. As far as possible, chanting from the lips of non-devotee should be avoided. And
Yeah.
then it goes on and on.
So yeah, so this sound vibration is very important, and the consciousness that you're in which you propagate that sound vibration, it makes a difference, right? So someone who is envious of Krishna, that's like one of the points being made in here, is that there's people who chant Hare Krishna, but they think they are Krishna. That is the greatest envy. You think you're God. That is actually the greatest mature desire, to want to be God. So when you hear from those who have enviness for Krishna, just like, how can I explain that? That, like, somebody loves someone and you want to kick them off that platform and take their position. So that is envy. So when you hear from envious people, what takes place? More envious in the heart. Just like when you eat food from people that are very angry and they're cooking for you, that consciousness goes into that food. Or somebody who's speaking in an angry way, just like we had this, Black Lives Matter was meant to be a peace movement. But then somebody got on stage and spoke in a particular way, and then riots broke out. But it was just sound. But it invoked this hate in the heart. So when you hear from the pure devotees, then it affects us. Our consciousness changes. Sound vibration affects how we think. So when we hear from the platform of love, those who are speaking on the platform of loving Krishna, then we also develop that consciousness. So we should hear from pure devotees, and when we hear, we also chant that. Yeah? So just like we're hearing from Srila Prabhupada, and because we come in line of Srila Prabhupada, we're getting direct knowledge from Srila Prabhupada in the disciplic succession, we can, although I'm not pure, the message is pure. Yeah? I'm not pure, like what I'm speaking, and I'm not a pure devotee who's vibrating pure sound. But I understand that, but I'm speaking in accordance with what the pure devotee is saying, what I'm trying to. Giving as the best that I've learned it, and hopefully I'm qualified to sit up here and speak that. But that sound vibration, we should hear from those who are not envious of Krishna, who are on the pure devotional path. Often my spiritual master gives the example of unripe mangoes and ripe mangoes. But you're on the tree. Will eventually become ripe on the path of pure devotion. So by hearing from pure devotees, we'll be able to also chant purely. Yeah, by having that proper consciousness of pure devotion. We know where the standard is. I don't consider my material desire to be pure devotion. I know what the standard is, and I know I'm not there, and I'm heading towards that. So we hear from them, and then we chant, and we try to come to that platform of purity also. Yeah, so we should hear and chant. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. And when we do that, we can remember Krishna always. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything from the men? No? Okay. All right. Where? We have something back here. Oh, what is, no. Our question was, what was your question again? Oh, no. How do we know? How do we know we're moving in the right direction? How do we know we're moving in the right direction?
Towards who? Towards what?
There you go.
I'll answer you later.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So now we'll end here because it's getting late. I'm sorry. I was trying to end by 3:15, but it's 3:40. Huh? Yeah, sorry about that. That's like my classic thing. I tell the people downstairs, all right, I'll be done by 3, and it goes on. So downstairs, there's the women have been cooking today for many hours. So cooked with a lot of hard work. So please do not throw any of it away. We have to-go boxes. You can take it home with you. The biggest problem is this food wastage, so please don't waste any. We're happy for you to take as many boxes as you like, as whatever we can give. But please don't throw it away. You can give it to your friends, your family, your enemies, whatever. So thank you very much for coming. There's also books back there that you can get. It's very important. You take this in your house and keep it in your house, read it, apply it in your life. Get as many books as you can. And yeah, so and you can sit downstairs. There's tables up, but I like it when people sit on the ground.